श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि, सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम नमस्कार। नानु ध्यायन् बहून् शब्दान् वाचो विक्लापनं हि तत्. Having understood what the truth is, having done Shravanam, then do not spend too much of time in just collecting more words and more thoughts and more ideas and more. Reflect on it, meditate on it and realize it. Vacho viklapanam, otherwise it's a waste of your energy. By doing more Shravanam, it's not bad, it's not wrong, you're keeping in, so to speak, in touch with the knowledge. But remember, the purpose of being in touch with the knowledge is what? To realize the knowledge. Yeah? Because a lot of times, when we do Shravana, we must understand the purpose. Are we doing it for pastime? It's a good pastime. A very good pastime. Because nowadays Corona time and all of this, you can't do this, you can't do this. So it's a good pastime. Nothing wrong with that. Accept it. It has entertainment value, yes. Sattvic entertainment, yes. It's a form of a sadhana, yes. So it serves all these wonderful purposes. So tick mark on all of that. Nothing wrong. But you must understand what you are doing and not fool yourself into thinking you're doing something other than what you are doing. Is that very clear? Yes or no? We don't. We don't understand it as that. Okay, look, it is a sattvic sort of a this. I'm doing it as a this. I'm listening to more talks. I'm listening to this. So that I'll be in touch with this. So my mind doesn't go here and there. This is better than doing this. So all of those things and all, very good. Understanding full well what you're doing, you do it. Without what? I already told you, as far as a spiritual seeker is concerned, fooling others is not that great a problem as what? I've said this often. Okay? So very clear. This is it. I'm doing nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Only understand what it is, what we are doing. Okay? Right. Having understood this, now, so, fine. Listen. Again and again, keep in touch. Keep those ideas fresh in your mind of Vedanta. Wonderful. Because you're in touch with the scriptures, you're in touch with people who are great, who are, able to explain it properly to us. Wonderful. Now, this is a very beautiful, it's very long mantra also. And we will just keep reading part of it and try to understand it instead of reading the whole mantra and then seeing it. There's a lot of things that have to be understood in this. Sava esha mahan ajaha atma yoyam vijnanamayah praneshu ya eshah antarhridaya akashah tasmin shete sarvasya vashi sarvasya ishanah sarvasya adhipatihi sa na sadhuna karmana bhuyan no eva asadhuna kaniyan esha sarveshwarah esha bhutadhipatihi esha bhutapala. Okay, we'll go till here. Saya esha mahan ajaha atma. Now the nature of the Atma is being talked about as what? Mahan ajaha. The great beginningless, unborn. Ajaha. Ajaha means what? Ajaha in the Sanskrit also means a goat, okay? But here, obviously, what are we talking about? Atma. So what is Atma? Aja means unborn. Now, when we say Atma is unborn, what are you supposed to understand? Hare Rama. Hare Rama. I am unborn. Atma is unborn. Let Atma be unborn. What's that to do with me? What are you supposed to understand? Otherwise, no point, na? Atma is unborn, let it be unborn. Atma is unborn means I am unborn. Esha, when say Esha Atma, immediately, where should this be? Esha Atma. Mahan. Oh, I always knew I was Mahan. I never realized I was Mahan and written in the book also. Not bad. Mahan and what? Ajaha. Unborn. Okay. You want to do a little thinking? Quickly, everyone? Yes? Technically, birth has a very nice meaning. See, this is the type of mananam we have to start doing, right? So, each word has to be taken and then say, okay, what is this now? I have to get to the root of it. What is this? What is the meaning? So, one of my favorite word is ajaha. The reason why it's favorite is, of course, its meaning is just unbelievable. And in all the 108 names of Pujya Gurudev, which is the first one? Ajaya Namaha. Always. You see, in most of these, they will say, Aja word will always be there. Ajanma. Na jayate mriyate va kadachita. This is okay. So what is birth? So, in Vedantic technical language, which we don't want to use much, because it's simple to understand. Technical languages are given for the sake of precision. That's all. So, what is it that, see, there is nothing in my hand, right? Yeah, there's nothing. Imagine this is a little higher and I'm doing some magic. Nothing is there, nothing is there. All of a sudden, what do you see? Oh, there's a pen. Okay, there's a pen in her hand. And then now all of a sudden, what do you see? What do you see? Nothing. Here you saw what I did. So you say, what is that? Supposing all of a sudden the pen jumped in and also, wow. So what is there? You have to say. What is there? What is there? Okay. Now what happened? Pen was not there, right? Not there, not there, not there, not there. All of a sudden what? There. Okay. So that not there ended and there started. नहीं नहीं है नहीं है नहीं है नहीं है. So it is defined as last moment of prior non-existence is called birth of a thing. What? This is called technical language. What? Last moment of prior non-existence. Not there, not there, there. So last moment of that not there is, this is called birth. This is the definition of birth given, okay? Last moment of prior, नहीं 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 है. So नहीं है का अंतिम क्षण उसको ना कहते हैं जन्म. Interesting or not interesting? Some of you are looking blankly. What is that to do with me? Or it's got a lot of things to do with you only. Everything is about me only. Okay, then what is death? Naturally, if this is birth, this is birth, then there. First moment of posterior non-existence is called death of a thing. Meaning, what happened there, and then not there started. Not there, not there, not there, not there. Now this will go on forever. You'll say, no, you are bringing it back again. This is if you're assuming it's the same pen. Right? Now as far as the jiva is concerned, what happens? That same jiva keeps coming in different bodies. So bodies are born, right? The jivatma, so to speak. Right? Now, that you say that same jivatma comes again and again and again. However, now, what is there? Not there, not there, there. Now, this not there and there, how do I know? There has to be something to know this state and this state. Then only they will know the last moment of this was there. Right? If there was nothing to know this, we would not know this. So that thing which was there had to be where? Before and after. Then only it saw, oh, this became and this came. Have you understood this? So this moment, there has to be something over there which knows this and this, yes or no? So that which knows what is not there and that which is known, which knows which is there, must be there. तो जन्म का जो साक्षी है वो अजन्म होना चाहिए. The witness of birth must be birthless. The witness of what? Death must be deathless. It must be there, it must be there. Right. See, till we were talking of Jivatma, you all related much more, right? Now you all are only writing it as information. See, you see this difference. That's why I said just keep this Jivatma Bhava. That is even better than still, because this Atma Bhava is just, okay, fine, nice information and all that. But actually you start meditating, then that will matter more. The Atma Bhava will start mattering more. But till that time, fine. At least this Bhava, keep that alive. What Jivatma Bhava? That one by one, what happens? The body starts coming in. Okay. So no body, no body. Body. Body, 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 body. Body gone. What? The Jivatma remains. You understand? At least that. So what happens? Body keeps coming and going. The Jivatma is there. Okay? Got that? So Jivatma is born or unborn? Unborn. Through all the births of the bodies and the deaths of the body, the Jivatma. So are you unborn? Yes. From what standpoint you are unborn? Even Jivatma. Okay, very clear. From the Jivatma standpoint, right now you are deathless also. Is it true or not? Because you're going to take birth again and again. So whenever the birth comes, they immediately realize that that's why it says Mahan Ajaha. Jivatma is not Mahan Ajaha. Why? Because when you realize, then it says, is it okay? When you realize I am Satchidananda Atma, then it is not this Mahan Ajaha. But the Shuddha Atma is what? Mahan Ajaha. Okay. It is the absolute, the greatest of unborn things. Because Maya is also unborn. Remember, ignorance has no birth. It only has a death. Agreed? Agnan ka janma kab hua? If you say Agnan ka janma hua, then before that it was what? Jnana or Ajnana? Question will come. You understand this? So therefore, Maya is also unborn. Jivatma is also unborn. The relation between the Jivatma and Paramatma is also what? Unborn. It always existed. You understand? So therefore, many unborns are there. But this Atma is what? Mahan Ajaha. Kya baat hai na? Okay. So, soyam Atma Vijnanamayah Praneshu. The same Atma as the Jivatma, in the Praneshu as life, with life, it becomes Vijnanamayah. Have you understood? That same Atma is called the Jivatma when it is associated with all the life, etc. This we have explained before, so I don't have to go to that. Yes, that same Atma becomes Jivatma as though when it is associated with all this body and pranas and all of that. Praneshu. Antarhridaya Akasha Shete. So where does it reside? Within us. So whenever we thinking of Atma, there's no question of thinking of it here, there. Immediately where? Antaha. Anta. Within. So when we say the word within, you must always understand at the core of everything. At the heart. That's why we use the word Hridaya also. Why Hridaya? Because Hridaya means what? The heart. We say, no, when I'm heart warming this, welcome. From my heart. For my heart doesn't mean the pumping heart. From within me. From the whole of me. From the very essence of me. From the core of me. Is it not what we mean when we say heart? Yes. So, Anta Hridaya Akasham Shete. It resides there. It remains there. And then Sarvasya Vashi keeps everything in control. As life, does not our life get controlled by life itself? Hello. One person came, the robber came in front of the man. He says, give me your money or I'll take your life. What will the person do? Give away the money. No, he says, no, I am not giving money. Why? He says, what is life without money? So anyway, you take it if you want. But anyway, that is only a joke. For the sake of life, we'll give up what? Do we or do we not give up everything? Yes. So it controls us? Yes, it controls us. Life controls us. So Antashete Sarvasya Vashi Sarvasya Ishana, the Lord of everyone. Sarvasya Adhipatihi, the Adhipati means the commander, so to speak, of everyone. And then this is a very nice phrase, I like it. Na sadhunam karmanam bhuyan, na asadhunam kaniyan. This Atma does not increase with good action or decrease with bad action. Asadhuna karmana kaniyan. Meaning what? It is unaffected by dharma and adharma. Is it understood? Remember, we are not talking about the Jivatma. This is exactly the distinction that you have to understand. Jivatma is affected by dharma or adharma or not. Yes. You take birth according to what? Remember, we had said? Vidya, karmana, purva prajna. Remember? So our dharma, adharma goes with us. So is the Jivatma affected by dharma, adharma? Yes. जीवात्मा को धर्म अधर्म का प्रभाव होता है कि नहीं? हाँ, उसकी गति निश्चित कैसे होती है? धर्म अधर्म के आधार पर गति होती है, ठीक है? बट इज द आत्मा अफेक्टेड बाय दैट? नो, देयर इज नो धर्म अधर्म फॉर आत्मा. अरे, दैट मीन्स ब्रह्मज्ञानी कैन डू वट एवर दे वांट. वी हैव ऑलरेडी टॉक्ड अबाउट दिस बिफोर. It doesn't mean they do bad things or anything like that. No. But no, the Tattva Bodha very, very clearly says, whatever actions a Brahmagnani does, since he is not going to take a birth to what? Enjoy the results of good actions or bad actions or anything like that, what will happen? The punyam that he or she does, that goes to people who worship or who love or who are close to him. In the sense means, because they've identified with some person like that, then the result of good actions goes to them. And if so-called bad actions get done by a Brahmagnani, not that they are doing anything bad, because there's no Kartrutva Bhava, then the people who hate them, the results go to them. So therefore, even if we don't have any respect, at least let's not try to, what? Karan ke bina. You know? So therefore, no, it will not come. The good actions we do, the results come to us, but the bad actions that we do will what? Also, they come. So always remember, Brahmagyanis, they themselves are not responsible. Okay, they say, okay, bad actions directed to this person. No. Bhagavan has his own rules. This Brahmagyani doesn't interfere with what? Any rules of gods. Okay? It's very clear. I remember once, maybe I said this also in Bangalore, Gurudev had a yajna and it rained and rained and rained and rained, and they had to, it became a washout, the reason because it was in the open. So everyone, naturally, the organizers and all, they didn't know what to do. So Gurudev said, don't pray for no rains. Naturally, they will pray. We all do that, no? If there's a wedding in our family, what do? We do it in the wedding, in the raining season, and then say, what? Barish nahi honi chahiye, barish nahi honi chahiye. We pray also, and then we pray, and Bhagavan said, thank you very much. You no barish on that day. Very good. Barish is for samashti, not for you and me. You understand? So we should never. So Gurudev said, no. This rain, it rains for the sake of samashti. You cannot say, no, make my yajna happen, so therefore, no. Don't pray like that. So they don't interfere with nature. You understand that? They don't interfere with God's will and all that. They'll say, let it happen the way it wants to. So it's not that Brahmagnani is direct, okay, bad action, go to this. They're the Atma of everyone. Why would they wish anything for anyone? Is it okay? So here it is said that the dharma, adharma does not affect them anymore, does not affect Atma. Okay, it can affect the body of a Brahmagnani, but it cannot affect the Atma, because he considers that I am the Atma, and therefore it is not affected by dharma and adharma. Is it clear? Dharma, adharma, na kaniyan, na bhuyan, esha sarveshwaraha. He is the Sarva Ishwaraha. Esha bhutadhipatihi. Esha Bhutapala. He is the one who is the Bhutapala. Bhutapala means what? The Palaka. Palaka means a Rakshaka. He is the protector of everyone. Bhutapala. Eshan Loka. Esha Setuhu. Eshan Lokan. Eshan Lokanam Asambhedaya. He is the Setu, or he is the a bridge, so to speak, which holds all the worlds. Now let me explain this to you. Right. What is this? You have to say, huh? Mic, right? What is this? It's a okay, this is easy. What is this? Spectacles, right. What is this? This is a book. So what did you say? This is a mic, this is spectacles, this is a book, right? So in each of this, what is common? Is. This is, this is, this is, right? This is common, right? Now, this part can become that or anything else also. But the is part, will it change? Is part means what? Isness of the thing, right? Isness of the thing, its existence, right? So, mic has existence. So, if the mic form changes, let us say it becomes something else, you melt the whole thing and then you make it into metal. So, what will happen? The form will change, but the isness part of it, will it change? You got this point? So, isness, now supposing you take out the isness है पना. कोई भी चीज का क्या होता है पना होता है, अस्तित्व होता है. You got this? Can you grasp this है पना in your head? Okay? Every experience also exists, right? I know. Behind this I know, what is there? I know this experience is, right? Does it exist? Yes. Then only will you experience it? Yes. So does it have existence? Yes. Everyone? Yes? When you say yes, what are you trying to tell? I exist. Is it true or not? When you said yes, what did you say? I exist. मैं हूँ. Everyone's experience? Can you experience I don't exist? Try. What's wrong in trying anyway? But if I actually don't exist, what will happen? Who will experience that? I. What? That I don't exist. Who is there to experience that? I. So, do you exist or you don't exist? Come on, quick. तो मैं हूँ, ये अनुभव नकारा नहीं जा सकता है. Right? So, mic exists, I exist, everything what? Exists. So, what is holding everything? Were it not for the concept of existence, now I don't want to say the word concept, the principle of existence, nothing could exist. Okay, still it's difficult. Fine. I love this idol of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Isn't it beautiful? Do you all agree? You have looked at it closely? If you have not, please go and look at it. It is beautiful. What is the meaning of that? That beauty pervades this whole idol. Have you understood this? What's the meaning of that? It is beautiful. Means what? Full of beauty. Very much. So where is beauty? In every part of it. So beauty exists? Yes, because it is beautiful. Right? Now, I will give you what? Beauty in your hand. And I will keep the idol. Is that possible? No. Beauty, the idol is beautiful, full of beauty, but the beauty is not a thing. Is that okay? Yes? All beautiful things are full of beauty, but beauty is not a thing. Can you note this? All beautiful things are full of beauty, but beauty is not a thing. All existing objects are full of existence, but existence is not a thing. जो जो वस्तुएं अस्तित्व में है उसमें अस्तित्व है, बट अस्तित्व कोई वस्तु नहीं है। तो क्या है? एष सेतु, it is this existence that upholds everything. Esha setu, it's like that bridge which holds everything, which connects things, gives its existence to everything. Esha setu. There are many meanings to this. This is fine. एष सेतुः विधरणः एषां लोकानाम् असंभेदाय। तम एतं वेदान् अनुवचनेन ब्राह्मणः। Okay, we'll read this. We haven't read that. Tam etam vedan anuvachanena brahmana vividishanti yagnena danena tapasa anashakena tam eva viditva munir bhavati etameva pravrajinah lokam icchantaha pravrajanti etadhasma vai tatpurve vidvansah प्रजां न कामयन्ते किं प्रजया करिष्यामः येषां न अयम् आत्मा अयं लोक इति. Okay, let's now do this. Tametam viditva. Here it is said, etam vedan anuvachanena, to know this Atma. Now what Atma are you talking about? The one that is ajanma, that which is the Sarveshwara, that which gives existence to everything, that which holds the whole world. All this description that has been done from the beginning, this Esha Atma. What do people do? Brahmana. Brahmana doesn't mean just Brahmana by birth. It means what? People who want to know Brahma. Okay. Who want to realize this truth. Moksharthi, ones who walk the spiritual path and want to realize this ultimate truth, want to realize God. Then such people, Brahmana, Vedan, what do? By the words of the Vedas. They study the words of the Vedas, they try to, by the words of the Vedas, Viditva, Vividishanti, and what do? Yagnena, Danena, Anashakena. Now, so they undertake Yajna, Dana, Tapa. Anashaka means Tapa. So they undertake all these tapas. They do austerities. Sadhana करते हैं. जो साधक होते हैं, साध्य को प्राप्त करना चाहते हैं, तो वो क्या करेंगे? साधना. Only when you do sadhana can you be called a sadhaka. Is that very clear? I may have a sadhya, I may have a goal, but if I don't start walking, then I am not a seeker of that goal. Oh, I may have a goal, but I am doing nothing to do it. Then what? I am not called a seeker. Is it okay? I may say that I have a goal. Many people are saying, I am, I want moksha. Okay, fine. What are you doing for attaining that? 90% of the time, what will it be? Please tell me. What will it be? I have a goal because I have been told moksha is a good goal. What do you do from morning to night or whatever time? Are you understanding what I'm saying? Then I cannot be called a seeker. What we do is, another time, the next person comes to tell us and all that, oh, moksha is a goal and all. We say, yes, moksha is a goal. Then afterwards that person goes away. That's why we keep needing that what? Again and again to listen. And then again they tell you the same old thing. And then you say, yes, yes, yes. And then what do we do after that? Are you all understanding? So in this particular Shibir, in this particular Mantra Sadhana camp, what did you all do? What did you all do? You all became what? Sadhakas. Is it okay? There was no choice. 4 hours? 4 hours, you come here, you sit down, full stop. And I hope you remember that part, the first 5 weeks part, rather than because in your room, I don't know how much you do and how seriously you do or whatever. You may say how serious, but you know, I know, and everyone knows, right? How it will be. So therefore, at least now, let's just end it with that same feeling, try to bring it back if it's possible. Yes, try. Because I know I can see 1 or 2 minds are like, the rest of them are pretty okay, but I see 1 or 2 minds really like, you really will need to. It's like as when you came, that bad right now. So I hope it's much better stage right now. Swamiji, remember what you told, going time the mind has already gone back. How many times? Oh my God, I did that. Oh my God, no. And so many of you don't even want to go back. Why? Because, oh my God, here it is like everything is like you're in a different world, all the same old thing. I don't know, I have to face that same. Because don't expect they would have changed, by the time you went back. It's not a chance, remote chance. So anyway, what I'm saying is that when do you become a sadhaka? When you actually start doing sadhana. That's the only way you can become a sadhaka. When are you called a jignasu? When I am wanting the truth, when I want to know, I start inquiring. Jignasa hoti hai, tab jignasu hai. Is it okay? What? I am called a hungry person when I have hunger. When I have hunger for knowledge is when I become a jignasu. Till that time, I cannot call myself a jignasu. And only a jignasu will realize, because he is the one who wants to know. Similarly, moksharthi will get moksha. Is it okay? And moksharthi become, just to say I have a goal of moksha, and I don't do what? I don't start walking or something I can't do. Then I am not a sadhak. Very clear. Just because you have a sadhya doesn't mean you're a sadhak. Can you write that down? Just because you have a sadhya doesn't mean you're a sadhaka. When you do something about it, then only you become a sadhaka. साधक कब बनते हैं? कुछ करते हैं तब. Without that, and then the sadhana also should be, sometimes we just take it as a niyam, as a good discipline. Have you heard this word? It's like a सुबह में उठने का एक क्या habit. So इसलिए पूजा करने की habit, good, very good habit, excellent. But remember, each day you do puja, what should be the goal? Antakarana Shuddhi, Vivek, Vairagya, Shamadamadi, Shamad Sampatti, Sukshmata, Shuddhata. Do you remember all of that? Otherwise, that will also become one more. Don't forget any of that, okay? That's why satsang you should keep doing. Because this will keep us on the track. So that's why here says that people who desire, it's said very nicely. Brahmana vividishanti. So what do? Yagnena, danena, tapasa, anashakena. Anashaka, meaning they take vows of, food in terms of like, I will eat on a Monday, or I will this on a this, or, all these different things people do. Yeah? Many people do different tapas. Yeah, on Friday I will not do like that, or I will this on. People do such things. Tapasa, tapa, they do. Yeah, danena. So here these sadhanas are given, whatever be the sadhana. See, here they don't insist only these sadhanas have to be done. See, this is the freedom given to us. Depending on our personality, depending upon our inclination, depending upon our time availability, our preoccupation, our this, we choose the sadhanas. Is that okay? We choose our sadhanas, whatever is suitable to us in terms of this. So remember now, if anyone wants, like what are we going to do after and all that, if anyone, so you'll please start. Because then last day everyone, I'm going tomorrow, you tell me today. That, please don't do that to me. So, we have to, this walking the path, this starts happening. And then he says here, tam eva viditva munir bhavati. You become a muni when you attain what? So at the end of it, what are you going to become? Muni. Not bad, Ray. Munir bhavati. Don't say you'll get some title Muni afterwards, Then so and so Muni. Lakshmi Narayan Muni. No, there is no such title that's going to be given at the end of anything like that. Not that. Munir bhavati means what? Muni means what? Then that mind becomes contemplative. Mind becomes absorbed in this truth. That is the bhava of that. Muni bhava. It is not Muni bhavati. It becomes Muni bhava ko prapt karte hain. That is the idea. Munir bhavati. So what does a person, knowing that this is the thing, pravrajanti, he leaves home. Haya Rama. Don't scare us, Ray. Till now everything was fine. We are going to go back. Where? Home. And you are saying what? They leave home. This is said in our scriptures, okay? Yad eva virajet tadeva parivrajet. The day you get vairagya, leave your home. Now, 1 minute. See, for a person who gets vairagya, you can't keep him home. Have you understood this? For a person who does not have vairagya, then there is a very nice phrase for him. So, he is kuti chakra. What will he do? He will go out, come back again. He'll go out, come back again. Does it happen or not? Go out for a little time, go around, and then when they are in an ashram, they keep thinking of home. And when they are in the home, please tell me, next camp, next camp, next camp, next camp. And the minute they come to the camp, what are you eating at home today? What you cooked today? What did you see that? Oh, what? Yes or no? Bolo na. Hota hai, nahi hota hai? Then all of a sudden you miss mummy. Mummy. Oh, what that, I tell you, that rasam she makes now. Oh, to rasam hai. Are you understanding? But says that a person, now here it doesn't mean this is for a person who has attained a high degree of viveka vairagya and has got this and all. Someone like, let's say, a Gurudev, what did he do? He went. And Tapon Maharaj, great, you know what happened. He's a rich person and a very good family. He had a younger brother, so till he said, okay, fine, I have a duty. He had a huge big house. He did a small little kutia in the side of his estate, and he stayed there. And when the brother got married and everything, he felt, and he used to keep going for a yatra in between. Before that also he would go for a yatra. And once when he went to the railway station and he told his brother, okay, goodbye and all. So the brother felt, something is wrong. Because every time when he went, he would go to the railway station to put him or something. But this time, he felt something was wrong. And when he went, he never came back. Then he became a parivrajaka. He went all around, he roamed around. That doesn't mean everyone becomes like that. Okay, fine. Here, there are exceptions like that. Okay? Who? They leave. Parivrajanti. And they become sannyasis. They become bhikshu. This is bhikshacharanti. They go and live on what? So Pujya Gurudev was so kind that for people like us, knowing that we don't have that type of ability or this, he made the ashram and said, okay, you study over there. See how beautiful. ये आपको खाना मिलेगा, ये we did not have to go and say Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi, like we didn't have to go through any of the difficult times that he went through when he went to Tapan Maharaj. He used to get this, Tapan Maharaj went through much more than what Gurudev also went through. But these are all great exceptions and all that. And there are enough. It is not that there are not people like that who do that, who have that goal and say, okay, fine, this is what I want this knowledge, I'm going to leave home, I'm going to seek the truth. Most of them head towards Himalayas because when they want that, and then they find the Guru, they find this. I told you also about this. That doesn't mean everyone has to do it. Is that okay? Very clear? Yeah? So they become sannyasis. Now in our scheme of ashramas, we have Brahmacharya ashram, Grihasthashram, Vanaprasthashram and Sannyasashram. So, what is the scheme? That from Brahmacharya you have to move to what? Grihasthashram. From Grihasthashram you have to move to Vanaprastha. From Vanaprastha you have to move to Sannyas. Each one must think in this way. So finally that I have to die a sannyasi. So there are people who would take sannyas a week before they pass away. When they know कि अभी कुछ नहीं है, that is also a form of sannyas, okay? They just, so that they can die as a sannyasi. I know, Dongreji Maharaj, how many of you have heard a very great saint who does Bhagavad, who used to do Bhagavad? He passed away as a sannyasi. Just about a week or two before he passed away, he took sannyas. So that is also like this. There are some, of course, who become sannyasis as after Vanaprastha, they go into sannyas and this. Now, in our scheme, we can go from one to, Brahmacharya to Grihastha. You can skip also. Let us say you skip Grihasthashram. So when you skip Grihasthashram, you can go straight from what? Brahmacharya to sannyas. That is possible. For us, we did not go through these two in between. That is possible. But there is no going back to the previous one. It's not that you become a sannyasi and then you say, oh, no, now I want to get married. That's not allowed. Is it okay? So you cannot go back. You can go what? Forward. That is what is said. Now anything happens, that's different. That's not the point. It's not. But this is the scheme of things that used to happen. So it was possible from Brahmacharya ashram straight away to go to the sannyas ashram. So this is what was spoken. Okay, if I said, okay, I don't want to go through this. So when someone asked Gurudev, I remember, of course you all are all different age and all that. So, but someone asked, should I get married? Do I get married? Should I get married? I remember I was there at the time when Gurudev told him. So he said, Gurudev said, if you can live alone, don't get married. So now live alone doesn't mean live alone now today, because after some time you start feeling lonely, you start feeling this, you feel that, and I feel this. I want companionship, I want this, I want that, all that. That is different. Okay. Basically, what he said is, if you need, the very fact that you ask a question means get married. My rule is very simple. If someone says, should I get married? I always say yes. Because if you don't want to get married, you won't even ask it. Are you understand? The very fact that you are asking me, anyone who asks me, should I get married? I'd say, definitely, please get married. Why? Why did you say? Because you asked. Otherwise, you would not have asked also. Okay? So please remember, it is not in our scriptures said it's compulsory to get married. At the same time, it is said, please get married. Is it okay? Yes, everyone? So here it is said, pravrajanti. This. Okay, now what is it? It's a beautiful part. We will see tomorrow. It's a beautiful mantra. The whole sequence of things, what is being explained one by one. We'll see. This is the nature of the Atma. First, the nature of the Atma was said. After that, what was said? That this Atma is Mahan, and people who want to know it, then what do? This is what they do. You have to do something for it, right? So then they do sadhana, then they do this, then they become real seekers, they go after it. And what are the type of people who become great seekers is being explained now hereafter. Okay. Hmm.